guys, Stephen from Woolston Web Design here again. This week I wanted to go through a new tool that I came across. It was actually recommended to me by another developer. I was talking with him about some issues in a WordPress plugin, and we were going through a few different options, and he mentioned this particular tool, and I'd not heard of it before, not used it, not seen it, and it just makes my WordPress development workflow so much better than what I had before. So I'll quickly go through. I won't go into the installation or anything because there's so many videos already explaining that, but the product is called Local by Flywheel. And now Local, I think, is a product on its own, but Flywheel is the name of the company who makes this particular tool, I think, and it's WordPress specific. And what it does is I think it uses Docker images to create instances of WordPress sites for you. And the beauty of this is that I was basically doing exactly the same thing using Hyper-V, and about 12 months ago I was using VirtualBox. But instead of having to create your virtual machines, having Windows operating system images, looking after the machine and maintaining it, this tool does all of that for you. All you really get to see and need to worry about is the WordPress aspect of it. So this is the product here. Well, this is the dashboard, I guess. Now I've started putting a few of my client sites in here, so you can see a few sites that are there already. I've just started it up and nothing's running at the moment, but this is a development machine that I use for all client development. It's like a blank slate WordPress theme that's also got my developer plugin in it as well. So I can use this build here to create my foundation, which I then use and customize for client work. So what I'll do is I'll start it up, and you know, it's a really nice looking interface. It's really easy to navigate. You can see here we've got no sites running. I can create a new site. You give it a name. I'll call it demo. You've got some options down here as well. So it gives you a local URL, or it writes to your local host file, and it gives you this URL, and this is the URL that you use to browse the site once it's running. You can choose where you want the files to go, so you've got access to the local file system, and we'll continue. I'll choose preferred. There is an option to customize it, so you can choose the version of PHP you want to use, you can choose your web server, and you can choose the version of MySQL. But the preferred option gives you some other features which I'll go into in a minute. Click continue, give it a username. We'll just call it root, password root, and it gives you a local email address as well. And then you've got some more options here where you can even choose to have a multi-site WordPress instance, which is fantastic. And let's add the site. So it's starting the site up, and what it's doing is it's creating a Docker image, and it's downloading the latest WordPress binary, or the latest WordPress instance, or the download, the installers, the WP content, all of the files that it needs, and it gives you just a blank WordPress instance. Not only that, it's installing PHP and it's installing MySQL as well. So once this is up and running, I'm pretty sure it starts the instance as well. It might take a little while. I might just pause here and we'll come back once it's up and running. So you can see here that that was installing WordPress. Now we've got the site is running. So what we have is an Nginx web server. It's using, I think that's the latest version of PHP, the latest version of MySQL, the latest version of WordPress, which is that's debatable whether you want to use version 5 with the Gutenberg stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Not for this discussion. So we have a WordPress site which is ready to use. So we go to the database. You can see that you've information about the database. You can even use SSL, and then you've got some utilities where you can use a mail server as well. So the cool thing about this is that I can just run up my admin. And what did I think I used root, login, bang, brand new WordPress installation, and it's all the default themes ready to go. And I didn't have to build a whole new machine. I didn't have to worry about creating a new WordPress instance, creating a site in my Apache root, all of that sort of stuff. This just does it all for me. So if I go back to here again, you can click View Site. That will actually take you to the site. And if we go to the Database tab, this Add Miner, I think is how you say it, click on that. That gives you a web interface to your MySQL database. Just amazing. Really, really cool. So that's that's the basics of it. Now, further to that, you've also got this live link as well. So what this will do is this is running locally on my machine here. So I have a local instance of this application or this WordPress site running here. I can click on this live link, and this will give me a externally accessible URL which I can share with so I could share this with a client. So I'm making progress on the client site. I can give them this link, and they can go to that link and they can see the progress that I'm making on the website. See, this is the site that we have here. So working locally, but being able to share what I'm doing with the outside world, outside of my network, just fantastic. And I don't really have anything bad to say about it. You can access the file system by clicking on here. So this is the demo folder that it's created. Under this app folder, public, so here's all of my WordPress stuff. I can go into here, I can upload my theme, I can upload some plugins, I can do normal plugin access, I can add a new plugin through the dashboard, all just with a couple of clicks. And I think that might have taken about 60 seconds for me to set up that site. Just fantastic. So local by Flywheel. Have a look at it. If you're using virtual machines locally for your WordPress development, have a really good look at this, because it just makes it all so much easier. So if you've got any questions about it, drop me a note. Otherwise, have fun playing with that. Thanks, guys.